ब्रह्मनाथ ओ शांति 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 स्वस्थ।
Hello students, in the previous class we discussed about the conducting system of the heart, in which we discussed that the human heart is myogenic type, means the heart itself originates the electrochemical impulse. Okay, we discussed that the myogenic heart consists of the myogenic muscles, such as we discussed the SA node and the AV node. SA node, which is located or situated in the right atrium region, and it is also known as the pacemaker. Why? Because it originates the wave of the contraction. Whereas the AV node, it is being situated in the lower region of the interauricular septum region, and it is also known as the pace setter. Why? Because it sends the wave of contraction towards the ventricle regions. Okay. Next, we discussed that the nerve supply, the nerves which supply to the, we can say, which controls the cardiac activity, are the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nerves. Next, we discussed the complete working and the course of blood circulation in the heart. We discussed, students, how the right atrium receives the deoxygenated blood from the superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, and also from the heart itself. The impure blood or the deoxygenated blood from the upper part of the body is being collected by the help of the superior vena cava. The deoxygenated blood, it is being collected from the lower part of the body by the help of the inferior vena cava, and also the impure blood from the heart itself, it is being collected from the by the help of the coronary sinus. Next, in the left atrium, it receives the oxygenated blood or the pure blood from the lungs by the means of the pulmonary veins. Next, students, we discussed that whenever the auricles are full of blood, the SA node originates the wave of contraction by which the auricles gets contract, by which the blood flow happens from the auricle region into the ventricle region. Next step, when the ventricles are full of blood, then the ventricles gets contracted following by the relaxation of the auricles or the atrium regions. Next, whenever the ventricle starts contracting, what happens? Right ventricle sends the deoxygenated blood into the lungs by the help of the pulmonary artery for the purification. After the purification, from the lungs, the oxygenated blood comes into the atrium by the left atrium by the means of the pulmonary vein, that you know. And from the left ventricle, the oxygenated blood is being supplied to all the body parts except the lungs by the help of the, we can say, the systemic aorta. So this much we have discussed, and also we discussed the double circulation. Why double circulation? Because the same blood passes through the blood twice. First through the right part of the heart, and then after the oxygenation, or we can say the deoxygenated blood, when it is converted into the oxygenated blood, it is now the same blood is being passing through the left part of the heart. So that is why, as the blood is flowing twice, the same blood is flowing twice through the heart, first through the right part and second time through the left part. That is why it is known as the double circulation. Today, students, will discuss firstly the blood vessels. Blood vessels means we know that the blood vascular system, in the case of the human circulatory system, it is of closed type, and it is of basically three types: artery, veins, and the capillaries. Let us first discuss the artery. We know, students, artery carries always the oxygenated blood. Okay, students, it carries the blood always, the oxygenated blood. Okay. Vein, it carry the deoxygenated blood, but one exception is there. all the artery carry the oxygenated blood except, you only tell me, yes, you are right, pulmonary artery. Similarly, all the veins carry the deoxygenated blood, and the exception is, yes, the pulmonary veins which carry the oxygenated blood. Okay students, you can see the structure here. The artery is made up of basically 3 layers, students. 3 layers. Outer tunica adventitia, middle layer, that is called the tunica media, and the internal layer or the inner layer, that is called the tunica intima. And a lumen or a space is present in the case of the artery through which the blood passes. That lumen is very narrow, that is why we have written it consists of the narrow lumen. Whereas the tunica adventitia is made up of the fibrous cord, lymphatic vessel, and some nerves. Whereas the tunica media is made up of circular unstriated muscles. At the same case, in the tunica intima, it is made up of the flattened endothelial and the elastic membrane. Okay students. Similarly, come to the vein. What is present in the vein? Vein also consists of 3 important layers. Outer one, it is called the tunica adventitia. Middle layer, that is called the tunica media, and the inner one layer, that is called the tunica intima. Here also, outer one tunica adventitia, middle layer tunica media, the inner layer tunica intima. Okay, here the tunica adventitia is made up of the fibers, whereas the tunica media is devoid or deficient of the elastic tissue and the muscle cells, whereas the tunica intima, it is also devoid of the elastic membrane. But one major difference is, all the difference are there because in that layer and this layer the difference are there, but the main major difference is, student, the lumen or the space which is present in between is very wider as compared to the artery. Lumen means what? The space through which the blood flows. Okay, that lumen in the case of the vein is much wider as compared to the artery. When you will come to our college, in the laboratory also, we will see how the artery looks like, how the veins look like. If the lumen is small, obviously that is nothing but the artery. If the lumen is bigger, then you can identify it as the vein. Okay, so let's write our first point. The artery, it carries the oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery. Artery carries oxygenated blood, okay, except the pulmonary artery. Okay, all the artery carries the oxygenated blood, but except the pulmonary artery, because it carry only the deoxygenated blood. Next, the artery helps in carrying the blood from the heart to all the body parts. So we can write our next point. It carry the blood from the heart to all the body parts. Okay. Next point. In the case of the artery, students, no valve is present. Okay, we can write, in the case of the artery, valves are absent. Okay. Next point. The artery are of various branch. The artery are being branched to form the arterioles, and further these arterioles are being further branched to form the capillaries. The artery are being branched to form the arterioles. Okay, arterioles are further branched to form the capillaries. Okay, similarly, veins. All the veins, or we can say all the veins, carry the deoxygenated blood except the pulmonary veins. All, you can write here also all the arteries. Okay, all the veins carry the deoxygenated blood, except the pulmonary vein. You know, in the pulmonary vein, it comes from the lungs, through which the oxygenated blood comes, and it is being collected in the left atrium. Okay, except the pulmonary veins. Okay, next, the veins carry the blood from all the body parts into the heart. Okay, so we have written from the heart to the body part, opposite in the veins. Veins helps to carry the blood from the, we can say, all the body part to the heart. It carry blood from all the body parts to the heart. Okay, next, in this case valves are being present. In the artery, valves are absent, but in this case valves are present. In the case of the veins, valves are present. And lastly, similarly, as the artery are being branched, veins are also branched into venules, then it is further branched into capillaries. Veins are branched into venules, and venules are further branched into capillaries. Okay, students, so what we have discussed, from the heart to the body parts, from body parts to the heart. Okay, see, so what we have discussed, basically first we discussed two the blood vessels. One is your artery, other one is your the veins. Artery, it consists of three layers, that is called the tunica adventitia, tunica media, tunica intima. Okay, outer one tunica adventitia, middle one the tunica media, inner one the tunica intima. Similarly, the vein also have the three layer, that is called the outer tunica adventitia, middle tunica media, inner one that is called the tunica intima. Major difference is the lumen which is present in the artery is very narrow, whereas the lumen which is present in the case of the vein is wider. Okay, and also we have discussed that in the case of the artery, in the case of all the artery, the oxygenated blood is being flowing, except pulmonary artery. Similarly, in all the veins, it carry the deoxygenated blood, except pulmonary veins. And the artery carry the blood from the heart to all the body parts, whereas in the case of the vein, from all the body parts, the heart it is being collected into from all the body parts, the blood it is being carried into the heart by the help of the veins. Whereas the valves are absent in the case of the artery, whereas the valves are present in the case of the veins. And similarly, the artery are being branched further into to form the arterioles, and arterioles are further branched to form the capillaries. Whereas the veins are branched to form the venules, and venules are further branched to form the capillaries. Okay, please note down. Students, now come to the capillaries region. Okay, what are the capillaries? The capillaries are the extremely fine blood vessels. The capillaries are the extremely fine blood vessels. You can see here, these are the extremely fine blood vessels. Okay, first point you can write, these are the extremely fine blood vessels. These are the extremely fine blood vessels. Fine blood vessels. You can see the direction of the flow, or the flow of the blood, is always from the arterioles to the venules. See, as I said you, the arteries are branched to form the arterioles, arterioles are further branched to form the capillaries or the arterial capillaries. Similarly, the veins are branched to form the venules, and the venules are further branched to form the venous capillaries. So what happens? The blood always flows from the arterial region. Here the diffusion takes place, means the oxygenated blood is coming and the deoxygenated blood is being going out by the help of the veins. Okay, so we can write the next point. The flow of blood is from the arterioles to the venules. These capillaries are being internally lined. These capillaries are lined by the endothelial cells. You can see here I have done like this cells. These are lined by the endothelial cells. We can write capillaries are lined by the endothelial cells. These are lined by the endothelial cells. Okay. Next, what is the main function of the capillaries? This helps in the exchange of the gases. This helps in the exchange of the gases, exchange of the nutrients. Okay, so we can write capillaries helps in the exchange of gases and nutrients. Okay, because as we discussed here, the oxygenated blood is there, okay, which comes in, and this is the deoxygenated blood which goes through the vein. Means how? Here the various endothelial cells are present. Now recollect, the cells will collect as on the tissue level. What happens? By the diffusion. Remember, we discussed in the alveolar capillary, blood capillary. Remember, in the respiration, the oxygenated blood will come. The blood having the oxygen. Then it is being exposed to the cell, by which the food is being oxidized. And as a byproduct, the CO2 or the carbon dioxide is present, which will be eliminated through as the deoxygenated blood. So that exactly thing is being happening in the artery. The oxygenated blood is comes, and by it being flown under the arterioles, and further it comes under the arterial capillaries. From the arterial capillaries here in this region, the tissue level, we can say endothelial cells are present, by which the exchange of the gases takes place, by which the oxygen comes in and the carbon dioxide is being eliminated, by which the deoxygenated blood is being carried out through the venules and finally by the veins. Okay, students, so this one is a short topic. Capillaries, these are the extremely fine blood vessels. Flow of blood is always from the arterioles to the venules, and the capillaries are lined by the endothelial cells, and the capillaries helps in the exchange of the gases and the nutrients. And this one is your diagram. You can see from the artery it comes to the arterioles, to the arterial capillaries, the oxygenated blood. Then here the diffusion takes place and it becomes the deoxygenated blood, and the deoxygenated blood means as the carbon dioxide is eliminated, the blood becomes the deoxygenated blood, and by the passing through the venous capillary and finally through the venule, and by the vein the deoxygenated blood flows in. So we can say the same blood is passing. Here the oxygenated blood it came, now it became the deoxygenated blood. So the direction of the blood is from the arteriole to the venules. Okay, please note down. Students, now we will discuss one of the important short note, that is known as the cardiac cycle. Student, what is cardiac cycle? The sequence of events that occurs in the heart per beat is known as the cardiac cycle. Why I have told the per beat? Because per beat means what? Our heart beats about 72 times per minute. Then for every beat, how much time it takes? About 0.8 second. Means in one beat, it is taking time less than 1 second. 1 second means what? 1 second. In this 1 second, or we can say less than 1 second, so many sequence of events are being carried out. Is this amazing? Yes. In the less than 1 second, a sequence of events are being carried out inside the heart per beat. That is known as the cardiac cycle. So let's write down the first definition. Or we can write, it is the sequence of events occurring inside the heart, per beat, or we can say the sequence of events occurring in the heart per beat is known as the cardiac cycle. Okay, next, for 1 minute, how much heartbeat it occurs? 72 beats per minute, or we can say for 1 minute, or we can say 72 beats occurs in 1 minute. Okay, so for how much time takes for 1 beat? So for 1 beat it takes 0.8 second, or we can say less than 1 minute. Okay, next, students, it consists of 2 phases. One is a systolic phase, another one is a diastolic phase. Okay, let's write down. It consists of systole phase and also it consists of the diastole phase. Okay, systole phase means, simply students, contraction. Okay, or we can say release of the blood takes place. Simply you can write another point, release. Okay, diastole phase means the relaxation phase or the relaxed phase, in which the blood filling takes place. Okay, all the event I will tell you, don't worry about this. Okay, next, it consists of 4, or we can say, as we know, it have 4 chambers. Atria have 2 chambers and the ventricles have the 4 chambers. So students, it carries out, first the atrial systole happens. Okay, so we can write, in the atria the atrial systole happens, then the atrial diastole. In the ventricles also ventricle systole happens and also the ventricular diastole. Okay, so the atrial systole, okay, it carried out for 0.1 second. I'll make you whole concept understand, don't worry. 0.1 second. Atrial diastole occurs for 0.7 second. Atrial diastole occurs for 0.7 seconds. Ventricular systole occurs for 0.3 seconds. Ventricular systole occurs for 0.3 seconds. Then ventricular diastole occurs for 0.5 seconds. Students, how these numbers are correlated to each other, I'll make you understand. But before understanding that, we should know the complete cardiac diastole. See, after the ventricular systole, means after the, we can say, contraction of the ventricle happens, the whole heart, means all the 4 chambers of heart goes to the rest position, or we can say all the chambers are in the relaxed position. That duration is known as the complete cardiac output, or we can say it happens for 0.4 second. Okay, let's write down. Then I'll make you understand. This is all correlated. After the ventricular systole, the heart rests for 0.4 seconds. That is called as complete cardiac diastole. Complete cardiac diastole. Okay. And it is not like that, means first the atrial systole, distole, diastole will happen, then the ventricular systole, diastole will happen. It always takes, or we can say, at the same time, so that all the events will cumulatively form the total time, that is called the 0.8 second. We can find here the total time, that is called the 0.8 second. Okay, this one. Okay, this here also total time 0.8 second. Now come to the event. I'll make you understand. See, first of all, artery in the atrium, the blood flows, or we can say the blood is filled, or we can say the all the blood from all the body parts, the deoxygenated blood, and from the lungs also the oxygenated blood is being poured inside the atrium region. That one in the relaxation stage. Whenever the blood is being filled, or we can say it is the atrium are full of blood, it is now in the contraction position, or we can say it is now in the contraction position, that is known as the atrial systole. It happens for 0.1 second, means the blood are being flown from the atrium region into the ventricular region. What happens then? Next step, what will happen? Obviously, when the ventricles will collect the blood and the ventricles will full of blood, then what will happen, students? Ventricle will now contract, because ventricles are full of blood, means the ventricular systole. Always remember, when the ventricles are being contracting, the auricles or the atrium region are being in the relaxed stage, that is known as the atrial diastole. Okay, so ventricular systole, the time duration is 0.3 second, and immediately after the ventricular systole, what happens? The complete heart get rest for 0.4 second, means the complete heart gets into relaxation mode. So now we can calculate the complete arterial diastole. How? Because when the ventricular systole is in ventricles are in the systole position, means in the contraction position. Remember what I am telling. The atriole are in the relaxed phase, means 0.3 second plus. After the ventricular systole, what happens? All the chambers of the heart get into relaxation phase, means the complete relaxation phase is what? 0.3 plus 0.4. How much? 0.7 second. Understood? Okay, next. What happens? Next? Ventricular systole happens. After the ventricular systole, it is immediately followed by the ventricular diastole. You tell. If the ventricles are in the relaxed phase, then obviously at that time, or we can say come to here. If the atrial are systole, means we can say the atrium are in the contraction stage, means at the same time the ventricles should be in the relaxation phase. So the relaxation phase, how much it will be? The 0.1 second. As we know, after the ventricular systole, what happens? The complete cardiac output takes place, means the 0.4 seconds. So this one also will add, means what? The arterial systole, which is of 0.1 second, plus the complete cardiac output, that is, or we can say 0.4 second. Students, remember, if the arteriole are in the systolic phase, then obviously at the same time ventricles will be in the diastolic phase, means on the relaxed phase, means we can add 0.1 second plus after the ventricular systole, the cardiac output, means all the four chambers are in relaxed position, 0.1 plus 0.4 means 0.5 seconds. Complete relaxation phase is 0.5 second. That is why the ventricular diastole is of 0.5 second. Okay, then it will be, means if the events are sequentially, or we can say simultaneously, it is being done. Not like this, means first the atrial systole takes place, then the ventricular. No, it is not like that. All the events are being taken out simultaneously, Atrial systole and diastole, atrial systole and diastole, it is also taking in the 0.8 second. Ventricular systole and ventricular diastole, it is being also carried out in the 0.8 second. So all the events are being cumulatively or the simultaneously it is being carried out. Okay, so this is, we can say, the sequence of events that occurs in one beat, which is, we can say, 0.8 second or less than 1 minute, that is known as the cardiac cycle. Okay students, so we have discussed first what will happen. Atrial systole it will happen. Atrial systole will further lead to the ventricular systole. Okay, when the ventricular systole will happen, at the immediate time, what happens after the ventricular systole, the complete cardiac diastole will happen. Okay, always remember, if the phase is atrial systole, means it will be the phase of the ventricular diastole. If it is the phase of the ventricular systole, means at the same time it is the phase of the atrial diastole. And also I have told you the calculation how we have found the atrial diastole, which is the 0.7 second, and also the ventricular diastole, which is 0.5 second. Okay, if you are not able to catch what I am telling, you can just rewind the 5 minutes and you can see, watch another time, you will get the point. Okay, so this is all about the cardiac cycle. Okay, please note down. Now students, come to our next part, that is the cardiac output. Cardiac output means what? It is the blood which is pumped by each ventricle per minute. That is known as the cardiac output. And how we can calculate the cardiac output? It is being calculated by multiplying the heart rate. Okay, the heart rate and the stroke volume. Stroke volume means what? The volume of the blood ejected out from the each ventricle in a beat. Means for every beat, how much amount of blood is being ejected out of the ventricle from the each ventricle, that is known as the stroke volume. And what is the cardiac output? I said it is the blood pumped by the each ventricle, or we can say per minute. Okay, so cardiac output can be calculated as heart rate into or multiplied by stroke volume. Heart rate we know 72 beats per minute, as we are discussing here, per minute, 72 beats per minute. And the stroke volume means the volume of the blood ejected out from the ventricle in a beat, that is known as 0.8 liter per beat. Now finally we will get the value around 5.5 liter per minute. So we found the value of the cardiac output, means the amount of blood that is pumped by each ventricle per minute is about 5.5 liter. Okay, so, and also it depends, means the cardiac output, it also depends on the various conditions, such as on the case of the emotions. Okay, in the case of the exercise, while you are doing the exercise, and also during the fever. In these three conditions, the emotion, exercise and the fever, the cardiac output can also vary or it can also change. It depends on the situation or it depends on the conditions. Okay, so cardiac output, it is the blood pumped it is the blood pumped by the each it is the cardiac output is the blood pumped by the each ventricle per minute, whereas we found the cardiac output by multiplying heart rate into the stroke volume, 72 beats per minute into 0.8 liter per beat, that will be found as the 5.5 liters per minute. Okay, please note down. Students, lastly, we will discuss the ECG or the electrocardiogram. Students, you might have known one instrument is always present in general the hospital, in the most hospitals, one person is lying and beside that one instrument is present in which you can see some sort of lines like this. Remember? Or also you in the serials also or in the films also you might have seen some like this. The deviations are being present. This is nothing but the electrocardiogram, means it records the potential difference of the muscles, or we can say it records the electrical changes in the cardiac activity. Okay, so we can say the ECG means the electrocardiogram. It is an instrument which measures or records the potential difference of the muscles. So electrocardiogram is an instrument used to record the potential difference of the heart muscles. Obviously heart muscles. Okay, next, who is the father of the electrocardiography? Then your answer will be Enthoven in the year 1903 was known as the father of the electrocardiography. This ECG student consists of three important waves: P wave, QRS wave and the T wave. Okay, the first small upward deflected wave, that is known as the P wave. Then the larger deflected and the triangular like shaped wave, that is called the QRS wave. Another small deflected wave, upward deflected wave, that is known as the T wave or the third deflected wave. This cycle is being, another time it is being continued. This T wave is followed by the P wave, then the QRS wave, then the T wave. Another time the P wave, the QRS wave, then the T wave. Remember, if these lines become straight, the persons become dead. Okay? So, what is the P wave? It is the, as I said you, it is the small upward deflected wave. Okay. Why it occurs? Due to the atrial depolarization. Depolarization means it refers to the systolic phase, or the atriums are in the contraction stage. Next is the QRS wave. It is the second phase or second wave. Okay, the QRS is the second wave and it occurs due to the ventricular depolarization. Means it is the stage when the ventricles are in the systolic phase, or it is the stage when the ventricles are in the contraction phase. And lastly, the third wave, that is known as the T wave. It is the third wave indicating the ventricular repolarization. Means when the ventricles are in diastolic phase, means the ventricle, when the ventricles are in the relaxation phase, at that time the T wave is being formed. Okay, so remember, P wave means atrial depolarization, means atrial are in the systolic phase. QRS means the ventricular depolarization, means the ventricular are in the systolic phase or in the contraction phase. T wave means it is the third phase indicating the ventricular repolarization, means the ventricles are in the relaxation phase. Okay, so students, this is all about your ECG or the electrocardiogram, and this is the graph. So students, today we completely discussed, okay, first we discussed the various events, that is the cardiac cycle also events, the blood vessels we discussed, the artery, the veins, the capillary. In the artery, basically it consists of also 3 layers, veins also consist of 3 layers. Okay, then we discussed that in the case of the artery, the lumen is small or narrow, but in the case of the vein, the lumen is wide. Next, in the case of the artery, oxygenated blood is being flowed except pulmonary artery. In the case of the veins, deoxygenated blood is being flowing except the pulmonary vein. Next also we discussed the capillary. Artery are being branched to form the arterioles. Arterioles are branched to form the capillaries. Similarly, the veins are branched to form the venules. Venules are branched to form the capillaries. Okay. Capillaries are the area where the exchange of the gases and the nutrients takes place. These are the fine blood vessels lined by the endothelial cells. Next, we discuss detail about the cardiac cycle. These are the complete sequence or the sequence of the events that occurs in the heart per beat. So, in 1 minute, 72 times our heart beats. So, for 1 beat, it takes 0.8 second, or we can say less than 1 second. We discussed 4 cases: atrial systole, atrial diastole, ventricular systole, ventricular diastole, and also the complete cardiac diastole, in which the heart completely it goes to the rest stage or the relaxation stage. Okay, which is about 0.4 second. Next we will discuss the cardiac output also. Okay, the total volume of the blood that is pumped by the each ventricle per minute, which is about 5.5 liters per minute. Okay, lastly also we discussed the ECG, or we can say the electrocardiogram, which is an instrument used to record the potential differences of the heart muscles. It consists of 3 waves: P wave, QRS wave and the T wave. P wave is the first upward deflected wave. Okay, upward deflected wave which indicates the atrial depolarization. Next, the QRS wave, it is the second wave which occurs because of the ventricular depolarization. And the third wave, that is called the T wave, it occurs due to the, we can say, ventricular repolarization. So students, that's all for today. We will meet in our next class. Thank you.